What is up, Mizzou fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com, covering your Missouri Tigers. He's Brayden Dowers. The Missouri Tigers just beat the Kansas Jayhawks in the return to the border war. We're going to break it all down right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, Missouri Tigers fans, welcome in to another video here on Show Me Football. This is a big one, Brayden, because the Missouri Tigers in the return of the border war beat the Kansas Jayhawks by a final score of 42-31. Brayden, we usually close the video with this, but I'm going to open the video with this because we just beat the Kansas Jayhawks. So when I say M-I-Z, you say what?
Fuck KU. Just
Yeah.
like the stands did today.
Well, yeah, I mean it was all day, man. And I saw a clip before the game, and the fans were chanting it as Mr. Brightside played, and the players definitely heard it, and they were kind of reacting to the fans, and that's kind of what the whole rivalry is about, is the whole, heckling of the opposing team from the home fans. But yeah, lots to talk about in this game. This was genuinely one of the most fun back and forth games I actually think, we've watched since you and I have started doing these on the channel. I mean, I'm going to let you take the stage first and kind of talk about your day. I know a lot happened. And of course, guys, if you didn't know, Brayden was at the game. We're recording this late in the evening after the game, but definitely wanted to get something in for you guys. But I mean, Brayden, initial thoughts and reaction on this one.
Okay, so I just want to take everybody through my day and what the atmosphere was like, what the game was like, just the wave of emotions and physical feelings that I had during this game. I woke up at about 6 a.m. this morning and my stomach hurt really bad, really bad. So I had to deal with that for about 3 hours and then was finally able to get to a point where me and my dad left for the game. We went to a bar, sat down. My dad got some food to eat. I didn't eat all day. I ate for the first time about an hour and a half ago. I had some chicken noodle soup. Did not eat all day and was a nervous wreck before the game because I'm a 21-year-old who has never witnessed Missouri and Kansas play football against each other. Like, I have never sat down to watch a Mizzou KU football game in my life. Has not happened. The last time that they played at Faroe, I was 2. That's how long it's been for this rivalry. So I have nothing to go off of outside of just what my dad has told me and just the pure hatred that I have. So we get inside the stadium, and overall, getting in the stadium, we got in there about an hour early, but it wasn't too bad of a process. I went up and down on the concourse. So they're doing a pretty good job of going through construction and everything. And I got into it with a Kansas fan while I was in the bathroom before the game started. He was going on and on about the troughs and TVs above the troughs. And how we needed to finish our stadium before we worried about putting TVs above the troughs. So I told him, you just downsized your football stadium to 41,000 seats and still have an entire side left to do. What the fuck are you talking about? And then he started bitching about the troughs. And so then I told him, are you concerned everybody's going to see your small ass dick? To which he started quickly zipping up his pants to try and get in my face, but I had just walked away by that point because I had to go to the bathroom. That was the first story. And then the game started.
Lots of stuff has happened in that bathroom because I don't know if people know, but you that's also where you met Cousin
Yeah, that's
Shane.
also the exact same bathroom was where I met Cousin Shane.
That's funny.
That was such an experience. But no, game started, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But everybody was saying fuck KU entire day. They played Mr. Brightside twice. I don't know if you could ever hear it on the broadcast, but with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they played it for a second time during the game. Like they played it at the start of the fourth quarter and then they played it with 4 minutes left. And I genuinely got emotional whenever they played it with 4 minutes left. Like I got tears in my eyes because it was genuinely just a beautiful sight to see. The Mizzou athletics department, I want to give a massive kudos to for leaning into this rivalry as much as they did and just accepting what it is for what it is and how much both of these schools absolutely hate each other. Whenever Mizzou had locked the game up after the Jamal Roberts touchdown, they started showing Kansas fans walking out on the Jumbotron. It was fantastic. Having
Cool.
having a guy come out to kick the ball with an amputated leg and for him to just kick it at the Kansas sideline and lift his shirt up and it has FKU on it. Fucking phenomenal.
Sacrificed $25,000 to do it as well.
Yeah. He didn't even want a shot at $25,000. He just wanted to look over at that sideline and say, fuck KU, and do it as close as humanly possible given the circumstances. And I commend that man 1,000,000%. Was the coolest thing of all time.
The Power Mizzou board was talking about starting a GoFundMe for him to get him his
Oh,
$25,000.
fuck yeah. I would donate to it. Oh,
Yeah.
1,000,000%. What a fucking legend for doing that. I mean, like, you don't get that in any other rivalry, it feels like. You don't get those kinds of stories, like this much fucking hatred. It only comes out of the border war. And it was so fucking fun. And I ended up, because I hadn't ate all day, I ended up getting a really bad headache and a pretty bad migraine by the end of the game. So my head was pounding whenever we were trying to close the game out. And I was also hyperventilating. My dad has had his inhaler, which he had to use multiple times because both of us were just losing our shit.
I'd imagine. Yeah.
But my voice is very tired from yelling. My hands hurt from clapping. The drive home, if it wasn't for drinking a Gatorade, I would have probably not been able to do this because I was in rough shape. Like I said, I had not eaten all day until we got home. I live in Kansas City, so it's a 2-hour drive. Car ride home was rough for the most part, but I'm feeling better now. Was absolutely ecstatic for about 20 to 30 minutes after the game ended. Just that adrenaline in me just carried me to get to the car basically. And then, I mean, the car ride home, despite how much I hurt, was fantastic.
Yeah. Sounds like an absolutely jam-packed day, but
one final thing. This is the one that I wanted your reaction to.
Okay. I thought the first one was pretty wild.
No, this one was fucking funny.
All right.
So after Kansas had scored their touchdown to go up 31-28, I was in the fourth quarter. My dad left to go to the bathroom, and there was this dad and this little girl, maybe 4 or 5 years old. He had her on his shoulders, and she was screaming, "Go KU, go KU, go KU," during the commercial break, and it was taking like only thing that you could hear because nobody else was making sound because we just went down. Stadium was pretty quiet, and it was during a commercial break. And so I just got tired of it at that point. So I turned around and I said, "Santa's not real."
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
Sure did. And everybody in the row behind me fucking busted their asses off laughing and started high-fiving me. And then my dad got back.
That's crazy.
The dad was pissed.
That's kind of awesome.
But in my defense, and genuinely, I'm glad that I don't think that she heard it.
Well, I was going to say, based on the reaction, it sounds like everyone else had. They probably were kind of like happy. They probably were sick of hearing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, he got her off of his shoulders after that, and they were done, thankfully. And that, like, I basically stopped every part of that from continuing. But the best part about it is I don't think that she actually heard me. But
Well,
It
there you
was,
go. Then everyone wins.
yeah, everybody wins. She still believes in Santa for another few years, and then we got them to shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
and
there you
then
go.
we won the football game, so even better.
Perfect.
But yeah,
Well,
that's it.
I think that was good. I think a lot of people will enjoy that story. But I mean, it was a great football game to cap everything off, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we have so much to talk about. Hopefully, everyone didn't click off the video because we didn't talk about football for the first 10 minutes. But I thought it was pretty insightful. So, I mean, look, it was a great game. Like I've kind of been saying that all day. Like, what a game that was.
yeah,
And I mean, just the emotion that goes into it definitely plays it up more than any other game that would probably look this way. But when I saw Jamal Roberts shrieking down the sideline, 63 yards to ice the game, and me and you said it afterwards, for the Chiefs fans out there, you guys probably remember, it was eerily similar to the Damian Williams run and the Super Bowl 54 for the Chiefs to ice that game against the Niners. It looked a lot like that, and it was just kind of cool to see. But as soon as that happened, like I just felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. Like we just beat
yeah,
KU. Like it's over. They're going home. It's gonna be a long ride back for them. But there's just so many things to talk about. Some good, some bad for sure. But I think because Brayden, again, I kind of want you to have the first crack at it. And you can kind of start where you want. But I mean, I think the important thing is you won this game, and it was the most important game on the schedule for a lot of people. And the Tigers looked good for the most part, but there's also still a lot for them to improve on, which I think is a good thing.
yeah. Overall with the offense, or no, I'll start with the defense because that's where most of our struggles were, I think. Um in reality, the defense only let up 21 points, like in my honest opinion, because you have the face mask call, which was just an absolutely abysmal call. And
Yeah,
it was called
awful.
by the back judge who was like 40 yards downfield, like farthest guy away from the play, threw his flag in last second, said that it was a face mask, and the other refs didn't pick it up, and then Kansas gets a first down, and then they end up getting a field goal on that drive after they almost gave Jalen Daniels the first down whenever he stepped out of bounds 3 yards early.
Mm-hmm.
But Kansas gets,
and I think he actually stepped out before that. I don't know if they were
yeah,
showing that in the stadium,
yeah.
but I think he actually stepped out even before that. But they didn't
I
even look
think
at
he
that
did
one.
too. I
They didn't
think
even
he
look at
did
that
too.
one.
But Kansas ends up getting a three points there. I'm not blaming the defense for that whatsoever. And then I'm also obviously not blaming the defense for the turnover that Beau Pribula had. So really they only let up 21 points. And one of those drives was just because of one big catch, one deep ball that Kansas hit from the 50-yard line down to about our 2.
And
And then the other two,
it was just a bad personnel decision, really, because it was Dalen Carnell in coverage on that,
mhm.
and they kind of had him lined up as a corner, and I like Dalen Carnell, but I don't think he has the long speed to make a play out
Yeah,
there.
and having him go up against their number one wide receiver, it was just a mismatch.
Yeah,
So you can kind of discount that too, just being chalked up to one play, and then Kansas really only had 2 good drives.
it's yeah,
And even with that first drive, it was just the really creative, and hats off to them for calling the play. That really creative fourth down play where they got to the line really quick, made it look like they were obviously just going to run it to the right side. Then Daniels pump fakes it, hits the tight end over the top, and he gets like 20 yards, and they get right down into the red zone, and then they end up taking the lead. But no, after the game was 21-6, the defense pinned their ears back, locked in, and was really good. Outside of the fact of the secondary letting a lot of guys get really open.
yeah,
And those are plays that I feel like SEC wide receivers and Lenora Sellers or other quarterbacks in the SEC are going to be able to hit against us. I mentioned Sellers because we play him in a few games.
yeah.
Like a few of those throws feel like throws that most other quarterbacks are going to be able to hit. And Jalen Daniels, good quarterback, but I feel like in different situations that aren't the border war, those are
Mm-hmm.
plays that are going to be made. And that's something that the secondary really needs to shore up on, because every other facet of this football game, Mizzou fucking dominated KU.
Yeah.
It
No,
was pure domination in every facet of the game otherwise. Josiah Trotter was absolutely insane. He had, I think, 2 tackles for a loss. We had 3 sacks on the day. And the linebackers overall, like, they contained Daniels and didn't let him have that game of his life because he wasn't able to run that much. Like, he had a few runs that went pretty far, but he never had that like game breaking, back breaking 3rd and 13, scrambles out of the pocket, makes some magic happen, and finds a way to get the first down. Like, he never really had that moment, which was hats off to Corey Batoon for the scheming. Because whenever they needed to pin their ears back in the secondary, they were able to. There was a few pretty good pass breakups. Marvin Burks, starting to lose hope with him, but overall, pretty solid performance by the defense. And then with the offense, literally nothing bad to say. Just everybody was firing on all cylinders. Maybe you could criticize Marquise Johnson for only getting 2 catches for like 26 yards or something.
Yeah,
but he got a little bit banged
back
up.
Like 90 degrees on one of the plays.
Yeah,
you could tell
he rolled his ankle early in the game, and
yeah.
So I'm not even really blaming him too much. Donovan Oligbode was phenomenal. The one-handed catch that he made was insane. We went, I think, 4 for 5 on 4th down. One of them, or 2 of them, being touchdowns.
Yes, we did.
And then we also hit one of our touchdowns on 3rd and 11 with an absolute strike from Beau to Brett Norfleet, who also had a fucking phenomenal game. Ahmad Hardy had, I think, 25 carries for 119 yards. Jamal Roberts had 13 carries for 143 yards. So even if you get rid of that big run that he had at the end there, that's still 12 carries for like 80 yards, which is still really good. You had 2 rushers go over 100 yards. We practically doubled KU in yards gained. We absolutely dominated time of possession, absolutely dominated the amount of first downs got. So I don't think that this score is representative of what this game was, because if Beau doesn't fumble it and you don't get that face mask, Josh, your score prediction of 40-21 is correct, basically.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that, but I mean, that's what I was going to say, really, is just out. So it's really, and I said this after the first half even, and it remained true throughout the rest of the game. But I said, my take on the first half is I think Mizzou is clearly the more dominant team on both sides of the ball, but 2 back-breaking mistakes have kind of kept Kansas in the game. And by then, the 2 big mistakes were the Beau Pribula fumble and then the 1 bad mismatch with Dalen Carnell on the wide receiver. And Kansas gets the big game.
It felt very, sorry to cut you off,
No,
but something that I meant to say, it felt a lot like the Boston College game from last year.
Yeah.
Like, we were down 21-6, and I say this with 100% honesty, I wasn't too worried. Like, I'm like, this has just been a fluky start. Yeah.
But you weren't worried that they were going to be out of the game.
No,
you knew they were going to punch back.
Yeah. Like, I was disappointed because I'm like, okay, this isn't just going to be a straight up beatdown, but I'm not worried about us not being in this game whatsoever. We still got 3 quarters of football left, and then we go down and we're able, like, just, that's what we did. We played clean football the rest of the way, and we dominated them. And I think from that point on, we outscored them 36-10. So, I mean, 36-10 in 3 quarters after a shaky first quarter is really impressive from this Missouri squad. And Beau Pribula, outside of that fumble, was better than anything that Brady Cook ever did at this university. And I'm willing to say that with 100% certainty that Brady Cook would not have won this football game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just going back to the whole, like, Mizzou being the more dominant team in this one. So, Brayden, like, I usually look at Google scores when we do these to get all my stats. And if you go over to the team stats section, they have, like, the bar chart. And it'll show, like, who kind of won each total yards, passing yards, rushing yards. I don't know if you've seen it, Brayden, but the rushing yards,
Yeah,
Kansas is like a tiny little 261 rushing
they
yards
only
to
had 3
Kansas's
rushing yards,
3
I think. Yeah.
yards. Yes, 3 rushing yards.
They
And I
didn't
think,
they completely abandoned the run in the second
yeah,
half. And that's something that I saw a lot of Kansas fans bitching about and complaining about was that Leipold and this offense, and it's what I talked about beforehand, is they get so one-dimensional with only taking medium and deep shots whenever they're playing from behind and whenever they feel like they're pressing. They press and they feel like they have to take these deep shots over and over again, and it just fucks them over. And by completely abandoning the run game, they put themselves in that situation, and it went terribly for them outside of one drive.
yeah. And Mizzou essentially, no, they did. They doubled, more than doubled the amount of first downs Kansas got.
Yeah.
They were way better on third down. Awesome on fourth down.
Was it 4 or 5?
Yeah, it was 4 or 5.
Okay, that's
Four
what
or
I
five on
thought.
fourth downs for Mizzou. And can we just say now? And I mean, I don't know if anyone will ever consider him a perfect coach, but Drinkwitz was
Coached
awesome
his
coach
ass
today.
off today. I
Yeah,
would genuinely say that this was the best Eli Drinkwitz coach game I've seen
yeah,
because the
and it
clock
just,
management at the end,
oh, that was
the
great.
the clock management at the end of the second quarter was just brilliant. It was fucking amazing. Just getting the ball back, and then you call a run play with Hardy, and he gets, I think it was like a 32-yard gain, and then you hit Kevin Coleman over the middle, and he makes some magic happens, and he almost scored a touchdown. And I
Man,
was
the
honestly
stadium
thinking
would
that
have went nuts. I mean, they
I was,
already were
yeah,
anyway, but
just the fact that we got ourselves in that situation, just phenomenal play calling, phenomenal execution by everybody on the staff to get that to happen and to be going tied into halftime, to go for it on 4th and 10. Like you said, he was going to be aggressive this game, and especially without Blake Craig. And that really worries me is how aggressive that we were going for it on 4th and 10 when we were in
yeah,
field goal range. And then I think that drive we ended up having to settle for a field goal anyways. But I forget. Um, but just our lack of trust in Myers is concerning for later down the road because we're going to eventually need to kick field goals.
yeah, and that's kind of what I'm hoping the Louisiana game will be for next
Yeah.
week. Is that you can win that game without your kicker being great, so you can try some stuff out and get a sense for what his range is
Yeah.
going into South Carolina. But yeah, this was a game where Drinkwitz was gonna be more aggressive because of the kicking situation. And I will credit Robert Meyer. He made all of his extra points besides the one that ended
Yeah.
up getting blocked. Not his fault. I thought that was his fault at first, and I went back and watched it. It was not his fault. I forget what exactly happened, but the kick just got blocked due to things outside of his control. But look, Drinkwitz pushed all the right buttons today. I think he
Yeah.
was aggressive when he needed to be. Didn't do anything stupid. And there were even a few where I think, and you kind of said it, but there were a few times where Drinkwitz was going for it, and I'm like, shoot, he's probably right to go for it here, but oh my god, this is kind of risky. I don't know if I
Like
can do
the
this.
the play call on 4th and 1 that was the Norfleet touchdown that had us take the lead, I think 35-31. It was 4th and 1. Everybody's expecting a run with Hardy right up the middle, just get the first down. And he pulls Pribula on a play action. Me and my dad both just scream, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, because there were guys in his
Like,
face coming.
and like Norfleet catches it, gets in for a touchdown. Everybody around us is going nuts. And me and my dad just look at each other like, holy fuck, we just got lucky. And that was so aggressive because
Yeah,
if I'm Eli Drinkwitz, I don't have the balls to make that call. I do not have the balls to put the
yeah,
trust in my guys to basically throw a back crossing route on 4th and 1. Like,
and the 4th and 7 as well, and the play to Kevin Coleman. I mean, what a freaking catch
oh,
by
that
Kevin
catch.
Coleman.
Coleman, I'm not
We
willing
need to
to
have a
say it yet.
conversation about who's the best to wear number 3 at Mizzou.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not there yet. Let's wait a few more
yeah,
weeks, but
yeah.
fuck.
He was
He
good.
balled the fuck out today.
Yeah, no, he was amazing for sure. Everything he did, and he's just so sure-handed, and he's also a great teammate. I was listening to he did an interview on the radio earlier this week on 610, and he just seems like I really. It's a shame that he wasn't a Tiger 3 years ago. Let me
Yeah.
just say that. But I'm glad to have him now. But yeah, no, I mean, Mizzou was the more dominant team. Definitely, they dominated time of possession, and we talked about this in the preview, Brayden. But I said, Mizzou lost the time of possession against Central Arkansas, but scored 60 points. But if they have the ability to be a ball control offense, like I thought they were going to be coming into the year, that's the kind of thing where if you have that option,
Yeah.
you can kind of name your score against a lot of teams, which they should have done today if they didn't have the back-breaking mistakes and the refs and yada yada. But I mean, they dominated time of possession, and it was impressive. Just the control that they had for most of the game, just driving these long drives at 8 up clock. I don't know if Kansas touched the ball in the second quarter. Like I'm sure they did.
Yeah,
But
they had 1 3 and out, or they had the sack, which was the fumble and safety,
yeah,
and then they had a 3 and out. That was their only plays in the second quarter.
yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean that's going to be a valuable trait if going into SEC play to be able to do that if they can keep up that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And the thing is, like,
just dominating them at the line on both sides of the ball, running it down their throats, saying we're going to impose our will on you, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it. Is
and
it's such a refreshing and just awesome way to watch your football team.
well, a
Like
lot of
it's so nice.
it felt like it was like a run, 2 runs, or a run and a quick pass on most of their first and
Hmm.
second downs, and they could do that because they knew they were going to get the first down most of the time, and
Yeah.
they were 10 of 19 on third down, pretty damn good. Um, and I actually, it's crazy because I look at the rushing stats and like the running game was good, but
Hmm.
it didn't even seem like it was that good watching the game. And the offensive line definitely missed some blocks out there or left some
Yeah.
blocks out on the field that could have
There was a
created
few
some bigger
tackle for a
runs.
loss. Yeah.
But hey, I think uh, they're going to get better. I have
Hmm.
full confidence that they're going to get better. Same with the secondary. We'll talk about them in a minute. But I'm kind of gushing about the offense right now because they were the big players today. Um, yeah, no, I mean, they'll get better. And this is typical of an early season Drinkwitz coached offensive line. Like, they'll figure some things out. We were talking about how Caden Green, we were worried about him playing left tackle after the
He looked
Central
pretty
Arkansas
good.
game. He was, I mean, I thought he was pretty good today.
I want to ask you a question.
All right.
How far do you think that if you take this Missouri Tigers skill position group
Mm-hmm.
of Pribula, Hardy, Coleman, Marquise, like Norfleet at this level, and you add our offensive line from last year, where do you think this team goes?
Hmm.
If you put Armand Membu, Marcus Bryant, Caden Green slots in back at left guard, Tollison at center, how far do you think this team gets?
I don't want to sound too aggressive, but 11-1, and that probably gets you what, an SEC championship game
Hmm.
appearance. I mean, I don't know if they would win, but I mean, and look, I still think Caden Green has a chance of being a pretty good left tackle, but to have him inside and then to have Armand Membo on the other side creating holes for the running game, like that's pretty scary.
Like I genuinely think that if that was our like if we had the offensive line that we had last year, this team would be just best offense in the country level good.
Well, and look, they still have a chance to be really damn
And they
good.
do.
And
They still do.
the main reason for it, actually, Brayden, is the quarterback, Beau Pribula.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about him. It's time to fire up the Heisman campaign. Not really, but kind of. But no, he was awesome. 30 of 39 for 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he obviously had the one fumble, and he settled in after that though. And I think that was one
Yeah.
of those things where like I think he got
It's your
knocked and
first start versus a Power 4
yeah,
opponent.
and he got knocked, and he'll probably tell you that, and he probably realized then, oh, like these guys hit a little bit harder than Central Arkansas. I have to
Yeah.
hang on to the ball, and after that, he was fine, but he just never looked panicked.
No.
He always made the right play. Sure, there was a couple times where there was a tight situation, but like Brayden, he made a few throws in this game that should get him on
The
some
throw to
lists of
Daniel
NFL
Blood,
scouts to
the
watch.
throw to Daniel Blood, the back corner,
Yeah.
double coverage, just lays it in there, just a cradle. Was me and my dad immediately just looked at each other and were like, holy shit. Because it's refreshing to see that because we haven't seen that from a Mizzou quarterback since Drew Lock.
Yeah. Although I will say Brady did make a throw kind of like that against Arkansas a couple years ago, but it was just it wasn't a play that he could ever make consistently.
No. And it like the throws that Beau made consistently, he wasn't ever really throwing behind guys. There was a few throws where he didn't lead guys 100% right, but he still completed them. But he just has such higher of a ceiling, and for him to have this kind of game in his first start against a Power 4 opponent in the border war, coming back to Columbia for the first time since 2006, first time being played in 15 years, for him to show up like this, I'm really excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
look, I'm chomping at the bit to get to that South Carolina game.
Here's the thing, Brayden. Like, I think if you want to go somewhere in college football, you need a dude at quarterback. And Brady Cook, when he was here, he was fine, but you never felt like you were winning games solely because of Brady Cook. He was elevated by talent around him, and he got the job done for the most part. They were able to win some games, put together a couple fun seasons, but Brady Cook's not a dude. But and I'm not saying this to rag on Cook. I think Mizzou might have a dude at quarterback finally, and Beau Pribula. Like, it's just he has the it factor. He made some incredible throws today. He doesn't look panicked. He always came up with the right play at the right time. I mean, he had multiple touchdowns to Brett Norfleet, but that one when they really needed a score.
3rd and 11. Yeah. Norfleet runs just a nice little curl route, and he fires it in there.
Yeah.
Linebacker has no time to get to it. Just beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch, and you just come away from the game saying, like, Mizzou's got a quarterback, man, and they're not messing around. He outdueled Jalen Daniels. He did. Yeah. And a lot of people are high on Jalen Daniels. They still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, although he's been in college for like 12 years, and it's time for him to go.
Get a job.
Yeah, get a job, really. But Beau Pribula was better than him today.
For sure. I
don't think it was that close.
No.
And I think that's actually, well, I don't know. I don't want to go without giving everyone their love. Donovan Oligbode, we said he was going to be a player.
Catch.
I've been saying he was going to be a player. The coaches talked him up. Drinkwitz said he's the best freshman since Luther Burden or Dominic Lovett. He didn't say it for no reason. The dude can play. Because he had the nice one-handed catch, but he also had a clutch reception to get them within one. I think that was right before the Norfleet play. I think that was the catch that set up the Norfleet play on the 4th down.
With that play, he could have gotten a first down.
He could have, and they talked about that on the broadcast too. But he'll learn.
Yeah.
True freshman, but I mean, still good effort to get.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it was still a good catch. Still good job getting us set up for that, but he could have gotten a first down there.
Yeah. Daniel Blood, hey, he had a couple nice catches. That's what you like to see out of your depth at wide receiver. Marquise Johnson didn't have a huge game, but mentioned it before. He got his ankle. It looked. I don't know how many people actually slowed it down and watched it or paid attention, but like when he got tackled, his foot I don't even know how to describe it, but his foot basically got bent in a way your foot's not supposed to go. It looked a lot worse than it probably actually. Well, I mean, it looked really. It was something that if it happened to one of us, we'd probably be out of the game.
Yeah.
He stayed in the game. Credit to him. Obviously, his speed was zapped after that, though. So sucks for him. But hey, at least he was able to come back, and you got kind of like a pseudo bye week here coming up with Louisiana, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Coleman, yeah, great. We gushed about him already. Brett Norfleet, great. Ahmad Hardy, Jamal Roberts. And actually, you know what? Let me say this about Jamal Roberts. I already like Jamal Roberts, and I thought, coming into the year, good 3rd down back. He's your pass protector, solid option. He's already looking a lot better than I even thought he was. Like, truly like a 1-2 punch with him and Ahmad Hardy.
Like, this Kansas defense isn't just some pushover defense.
And Kamara played today, and he was actually really good.
But the Kansas it's not a no joke defense. Like it's a respectable power four defense, and they just had their way with them,
Yeah,
and that I'm excited to see it again.
for sure. Offense is great. I think we're in for a lot of fun offensive football this year with the Missouri Tigers. Turning the attention to the defense, though. Look, there's some things to clean up for sure. I'll start by saying that. And you mentioned Marvin Burks earlier. How you're like losing hope, and because
Yeah,
one of the touchdowns they gave up early that got them in that hole is because he was caught looking the backfield again.
yeah, and that
Take
was
a
an
drink if
issue
you've heard
last
that
year.
before. Yeah. And like, it's like, man, if you could just clean up that one thing, like, because here's the thing, he's actually like, he's a great tackler.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come up and he'll knock you, but man, just got to figure that out. I mean, hey, a move to linebacker might be in his future. Maybe he'll be better suited there. I definitely want to see more Santana Banner though, more Mose Phillips, more Jalen Catalon in those safety
Yeah,
reps, because I just I still like Marvin Burks. I haven't given up on him or anything yet, but he might be better suited in the box than in deep coverage for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of
Catalan
things.
had one play where I was kind of underwhelmed.
He got ran away from
Yeah,
one of the throws that Jalen Daniels missed, and we mentioned how Kansas they only had 3 rushing yards, and I think that was definitely a part of the game plan. And you would have liked to see a little bit more from the pass rush because it definitely felt like there were times as well where the D line wasn't really getting pressure, and it's like, man, like
mm-hmm.
where's the D line that Drinkwitz was talking up all camp with Darius Smith and Damon Wilson? And I'm still like, and this,
Wilson really hasn't, or I think it's Darius who had 2 sacks against Central
that
Arkansas.
was
Was
Damon
it
Wilson.
Damon? Darius Smith really hasn't done too much.
No,
Like I haven't
I
noticed
mean,
him.
well, and unfortunately for him, he should have got credited with a sack or the tackle for a loss, but they called it the BS face mask.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a face mask. But what I was going to say though is I'm not trying to excuse the performance necessarily, but I do think a lot of the lack of pressure was intentional by
Yeah,
Platoon because they wanted to keep Jalen Daniels in the pocket and they
they wanted to
wanted to
force him to
force him
throw.
to throw. Yes. Um, and unfortunately, the coverage wasn't as tight as you'd like it to be if that was the game plan. Now, Drinkwitz did say immediately after the game, though, yeah, he came out and he admitted we played too much zone probably. And the one drive that Kansas, I think it was the one where Kansas made it 31-28.
Yeah,
That was the one where they like kind of really got exposed on
mm-hmm.
the back end, and that was the
Because
one that
what happened was Daniels would throw an incomplete pass. It felt like this happened 4 times during the drive. He would throw an incomplete pass on first down, and then on second down, he'd hit a 15-yard gain. And it
yeah
was just rinse and repeat of that. And they were just in zone coverage the entire time. And somebody would get beat, somebody would get exposed. And that was the one time that Kansas was able to find a rhythm until Mizzou was able to get back in their own game plan and was able
yeah.
to shut Kansas down basically the rest of the game.
But no, Drinkwitz came out and said right after, like, yeah, we probably played it a little too much zone. And he said it'll get cleaned up. I trust him. Drinkwitz
Yeah.
has been pretty true to his word as of recently. I just think there's way too much talent even in the secondary for them to look that
Yeah.
inept. I do think it'll improve. I think this it's very comparable to the K State win a couple years ago, in the sense that it was a great win, but there was still a lot you can improve on,
Mm-hmm.
and they did improve on it, and they ended up winning 10 games and going to the Cotton Bowl and winning that too. So I think today is indicative of what the ceiling is for Mizzou in the 2025 season, and there's still things to clean up on defense, but at the same time, I thought the linebackers were great. You already
Yeah.
mentioned Josiah Trotter. The pass rush did get pressure at times. Zion
Khalil,
Young.
there was one play, Khalil Jacobs. You mentioned linebackers because I remember you were talking about him going sideline to sideline with Jalen Daniels, where
Yeah,
he was able to just run Daniels down, and Daniels wasn't able to get the first down because of
yeah.
that. And I think he just did that one time, and I don't know how much playing time he really got,
He had a couple tackles, I remember, because
but he showed up today. He was pretty good.
yeah, no, and Zion Young came up huge, forcing that fumble on Jalen
Yeah.
Daniels. And then there was the heads up play where when that happened, Damon Wilson batted the ball into the end zone for safety. I know some Mizzou fans said, "Oh, he should have recovered it. He should have fell on it." But I think, and look, him batting the ball into the end zone was illegal. But fuck it, I don't care. He cheated, and it was actually a heads up play because it's one of those things where you can't really prove that it was intentional. It was just kind of like he's falling forward, looking like he might take it, and then he just kind of knocked it into the end zone.
Okay, so the score was 40-28 then. So you take away Kansas's 3 points for the face mask, and then you take away our 2 points for the safety. Done. Easy.
Well, I was gonna say I think his mindset there was we get more points if we get the safety, and then the offense gets the ball back and scores again, rather than I pick this up and take it in the end zone. Now, should he have just scooped it up and taken the points?
Yeah.
Probably in that moment, but because they ended up, I think, settling for a field goal, or I think they settled for another field goal after that. But yeah, no,
that made it 21-18.
The main point that I'm getting at here is there's still things to clean up. The talent is clearly still there on defense. It's just about Corey Batoon making sure his guys are in the right spot and coming up with a game plan week to week that suits the opponent. And I think, for the most part, because I will say this too, there were times where Mizzou on special teams or, the Beau Pribula on fumble on offense did not put the defense in a good situation where Kansas was starting with really good field position. After the Mizzou's first touchdown, Connor Tollison got some stupid unsportsmanlike that gave Kansas a free 15 yards.
Yeah, and they started their first touchdown drive at like the 50, and then one of their other touchdown drives, the one where they hit the really big deep shot, that one started at like the 45 as well.
Yeah, and that it just didn't help. But I think as the season progresses, the pass rush will heat up. You'll see them get home. They'll get teams in unfavorable situations backed up on their own side. I think the secondary will tighten up. There's too much talent, man. They'll improve. I trust Corey Batoon, and I think his game plan, for the most part, what he was trying to do, he accomplished that. He wanted to keep Jalen Daniels in the pocket, and he stopped the run. He completely shut down Kansas's running game. Daniel Highshaw, that's one of Kansas's big star players. He did nothing in this game. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
6 carries for 11 yards, 1.8 yards per carry.
That fantastic game by the run defense.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, look, they got stops when they needed to get them. Some of it was thanks to Jalen Daniels overthrowing his receivers, but I still think Mizzou would have pulled it out either way. I just think, because Drinkwitz in close games at this point, it's not a fluke. You have to give him his credit. He's been a really, really good coach in close games.
He's completely got rid of the Mizzouing it.
Yeah, no, it's gone. It's completely gone. And in these matchups, he just always seems to have a way. They always seem to have an answer. Even going back to last year, against Auburn, the 4th and 5 to Luther Burden, or against Florida, 4th and 17. And a lot of credit goes to Kirby Moore as well. Kirby Moore has been a huge catalyst for the success over the past few years. But I mean, it just seems like this Mizzou team, when they really need to come up with something, they do.
For sure.
And yeah, no, it's an exciting win. It's a confidence boost. You got Louisiana next week, and then South Carolina after.
Can I just say what a great day of college football it was?
Yeah, it really was.
K-State lost. Florida lost. K-State lost to fucking Army after almost losing to North Dakota last week. They suck.
Yeah, Kansas better beat them.
K-State fucking sucks. If Kansas doesn't end the streak against them this year, that'll be the funniest shit of all time. And Mo State won. Mo State beat Marshall. So
Mo State with the win.
That made me so happy.
Mississippi State in the final seconds versus Arizona State. That was fun to watch.
Do you think that we'll be in the top 25?
I was going to say, I don't want to try to make it about Mizzou, the results of every other single game, but if they're not ranked next week, what are we doing?
Yeah. No, the Mo State win, that made me so happy because they were down by 10 and seeing them get their first FBS win. I hope that Mizzou schedules them at some point in the future because I like Mo State. Have friends that go there, have friends that have gone there. And I like seeing them jump up to the FBS level. I want to try to get to one of the games, the midweek Conference USA games, because that just seems like fun. And it's nice to have just another FBS member in Missouri. It's cool to not just be the only one now, and like have another school that you can kind of turn to and just be like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, kind of root for them on the side.
Yeah.
And it's just nice because they got an absolute beatdown last week against USC.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, I don't know if this FBS thing is going to work out. But then
just week around, come out and beat Marshall.
Got their win. Yeah, no, so good for them. Yeah, no, good week for college football. Not so great for NFL Chiefs fans. Really, man, if you're a Kansas Chiefs fan, you got to be sick right now.
Or if you're a Kansas State and Chiefs fan.
Yeah, you got to be absolutely sick right now. So, Missouri Tigers on top. I don't know if there's anything else, Brayden. I
don't really have too much.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, Mizzou took care of business. 42-31, not quite what I predicted, but if you cross your eyes at it, it kind of looks like 42-21, close enough. I mean,
if you take away all the points that Kansas got from gifts, it's 40-21.
Yeah. So there you go. But no, guys, that's all we got for this one, I think. So definitely make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Mizzou fans can find this. Check out my work on showmefootball.com. Follow me on Twitter at showmefb. Great day to be a Tiger.
It's always a great day to be a Tiger.
Yeah, always. I mean, there's some bad days, but today's a great day. Definitely want to enjoy
one of the best.
But Brayden, any other closing thoughts or perhaps movie recommendations, anything like that?
Since you didn't let me give a movie recommendation last time, and there was a perfect opportunity for one with my entire history lesson spiel, I'm going to say it now. Lincoln. Great movie. Daniel Day-Lewis, Steven Spielberg directed it. It's about the passing of the 13th Amendment and how crucial Missouri was in it. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to go into a few of the comments that we got on the history lesson because I'm tired and want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, they already lost. So
yeah, they already lost. No reason to go into it again. But yeah, MIZ baby.
There you go. So everything will be down in the description below as always. Oh, almost forgot. Guys, Dubby, they're going to be partnered with me all football season long. Dubby Energy. I just got this sent from them. Japanese yuzu flavor. It's a energy drink. No artificial flavors. No proprietary blends. Contains coffee fruit extract. That's the main catalyst. I'm someone that drinks a lot of energy drinks, unfortunately. Ashamed of it. They're bad for you, but Dubby is a healthy alternative. Without the caffeine, added, artificial sweeteners, all that stuff. But if you use my promo code down in the description below, you get 10% off at checkout. So definitely check that out. But yeah, that's all we got. So everything will be in the description down below as always. We'll see you all in the next one. And as always, MIZ.
Fuck KU.